I'm here with Mike Mannor, the John F. O'Shaughnessy Associate Professor of Family Enterprise in the Mendoza College of Business. Professor Mannor organizes the annual fundraiser, A Night of Arts and Blues, to help raise money for Down syndrome research. Now in its fifth year, the event's raised over $200,000. Welcome to Notre Dame Day, Professor Mannor.
Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you here. I understand you have a very personal connection to this line of research. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. So my daughter is 9 years old, and she has Down syndrome. And we had a prenatal diagnosis, so we found out that she had Down syndrome when my wife was about halfway through her pregnancy. And up to that point, I didn't know anything about Down syndrome, but we had the opportunity to learn as much as we could during that time, and then through that process over the next few years, get really involved in the research space of researchers focusing on how to help people with Down syndrome to have more opportunities and better opportunities for learning. And so that has progressed over time into a fundraiser. And so now we've been very successful in having people get excited about helping people in our community with Down syndrome to have more opportunities. And that's led to 5 years of great fundraising success.
Wow. So. And what's the current climate for research for Down syndrome?
Sure. So the up until maybe 20 years ago, there was almost no research on Down syndrome, in the sense that people with Down syndrome would be offered the same kinds of solutions that traditional medicine would have offered to any person. So if you had a heart defect, they could help you with your congenital heart defect, or if you had trouble hearing, they could help you hear better. But it was only in the last about 10 years that the researchers have created new opportunities or some changes in the research landscape with things like neuroplasticity, and a new mouse model for studying Down syndrome has made it possible to study the cognitive side of Down syndrome. So every person with Down syndrome has trouble learning and has trouble with memory, and this was something that medicine has never been able to help with before. Now there's a very exciting research environment with 4 drugs in clinical trials to help people with memory and learning, and a whole host of other opportunities being investigated at some of the best research labs in the country.
That's great. And as we said, you organize a Night of Arts and Blues. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. So the Night of Art and Blues is a Mardi Gras themed fundraiser. We recognized that we were kind of late to the game. There were a lot of other fundraisers going on, and we wanted to do something distinctive. And so we themed our fundraiser around blues, and so kind of art and blues to celebrate people with Down syndrome, but also get people aware of the types of cognitive disabilities and the opportunities for research in that space. And so we now host it at a industrial chic venue in town called The Brick, and we've had great turnout. A couple hundred people come out each year, and we have a silent auction, and people wear masks, and it's Mardi Gras themed. It's great fun.
Wow. How have your MBA students and the wider Notre Dame community supported your efforts?
Yeah, so with the students at Notre Dame, we have excellent, amazing students that have big hearts. And so once we told them, we had the opportunity to share with them a little bit about what was going on, they've jumped in wholeheartedly, and they've been planning. They help organize the silent auction. They have done everything that we could imagine, and more of them have rallied to the cause than I could have imagined. So it's been a wonderful opportunity.
Yeah, great to have so much support too.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, we applaud the work you're doing. Thank you so much for joining us for Notre Dame Day.
Thanks for having me.